Hey, channel update. This is a redo. I did a test uh, of trying to keep things user friendly. I did a playlist for a war way back, domain research and mining, and some of them I made public, some I kept private, some I kept unlisted from the get go, right? And then later I made pretty much everything public. But the things I made public now, then when I decided to make it public, all those videos went to the top of page one. But I'm like, gah! So that completely ruined the chronology of things. So I had to painstakingly go to every video and make created on at the top like this, right? So when I do make those public and they're in a certain playlist, like this will be the bash, bash in Bashakru. Uh, I'll figure out some funny name for the playlist, but the chronology of the war, what happened, and later on, of course, when they gank you, your opsec is no longer relevant, anyways. They already knew I joined Alliance, so I can go that public, so I can do this public. But what I did was these two, and I fixed the opsec, the other video, which obviously got bell notifications to the trolls who were monitoring my channel for stuff like that. Saw, even though I was talking about opsec and saying I'm trying to be good, they had image URLs in the intro. While I was scrolling down, I was like, when I reviewed the video, I'm like, dope, but I let it go through because they're gonna gank me eventually, and they ganked the Mark 9, so it's not a stretch to imagine what the Mark 10s are gonna be, but whatever. Yeah, and they were down here, just above, just around here, and I had them all private, and then I was like, okay, let's make it public and refresh the page and see what happens. Hopefully they stay down here because I made it public earlier, to trigger the publish thing. But no, it's as soon as if you make something private or unlisted and then you make it public, it's going to go, I'm going to put you at the top of the page one. So there goes your user friendly, the user friendliness of the chronology of any playlist or anything I do. It's going to have to go to plan B. Depending on you guys, if you want to piece together chronology, you're going to have to look at the beginning of my description for created on. So you can kind of piece together chronology, because I can't make everything public and I can't do it all at once. So yeah, it's a shame. CCP YouTube are not interested in that kind of thing. You go to them with that, they're just going to laugh at you, going, "But don't you want your anything published to be new and trendy?" It's like facepalm. So yeah, I might actually think of moving to another platform because I simply don't care. Like I'm about mechanics. I'm never gonna explode and go viral because I talk about boring mechanics. Boring. So yeah, I might, if another platform allows for me to keep it chronology, keep keep the chronology of videos as published in the flow of things, and keep certain things for OPSEC, I'll be there in a heartbeat, right? But yeah, it didn't work because I made them public, and I refreshed, and yep, sure enough, popped at the top of the page. So my ID didn't work. I got to rant for half an hour, and now it's never going to be seen again. Well, 8 people saw it, and I can guarantee 1 or 2 trolls did. But yeah. Anyways, what can you do, right? it's it's a pity. But anyways, this is a channel update, letting you guys know that I do want to make an update for this with the missing Porpoise and Venture release dates, and the plan is to listen to the video. It's only 23 minutes. Make a script of what I said. Make a template. Oh my god, a transcript of what I said, and then make it smoother. and try to do a short and sweet, under 10 minutes timeline of ships introduced to the game since release. And that'll give us some kind of context to critique with competence, probably more than CCP remembers, about their new ship that is... Give me a sec. Yeah. Oh, wait. I think... No, I think I'm trying to find stuff here. This is it. That. It's right next to the Amar recruit, so you think this is the Amar version of the ship they were hinting about during FanFest about, at the end of the arc at the fourth quarter of 2022. Yeah, releasing content at FanFest. I don't think you know how any of this works. Anyway, so, yeah. I made that video in preparation for this, because knowing the backstory of when and how often ships were released in the Eve can make us go, okay, 6 years ago you introduced the Porpoise, and 8 years ago was the Bowhead, and yonks ago was any industrial ship, and you're releasing yet more what looks like bullshit PvP content for the nullsec blocks yet again, and catering to that crowd, which we know they do. And so, yeah, I'd like to be able to critique it saying, yeah, I know exactly how often you guys release ships for us, and I know exactly how often you release industrial ships compared to PvP ships, and where the hell is the midline between the Bowhead and the same kind of thing as an Orca, but made for a different purpose, like, say, hauling stuff, like having... Like, smaller than the Bowhead, has half the, just something that I can use that has a larger fleet hangar, that has a big fleet hangar, like minuscule, small maintenance bay, and freaking large fleet hangar. That would be freaking awesome. And do we have that? We've got the DST. It's got a large fleet hangar, but it doesn't have a maintenance bay. We've got the Orca, which has a large maintenance bay, but kind of a shitty fleet hangar. And then we got the Bowhead, which has no maintenance bay, no fleet hangar, but a huge maintenance bay. It's like, where's the huge fleet hangar for high sec? Hello, or even low sec. Do they have, like, how big is the largest fleet? Questions like that. Critiques like that can have more, like, impactful grounding once you understand the backstory, right? You can actually go, oh, that's great, we have a new PvP ship, but what about the industrialists? You've been tanking on those forever. It's like, wait a minute. So yeah, it's like every 2 years they release a ship, basically. But back in Red Moon Rising and Trinity, they released like more than 36 ships a batch, and it's funny. You can even go deeper and look at their trailers for each expansion. Free expansion. Ooh, we're so pleased you're not doing the Blizzard route, morons. So it's like we have, yeah. I mean, comparing their stupid game to Blizzard's World of Warcraft. Don't even try, CCP. But it's like, you can look at it and go deeper and go, look at their trailer for Red Moon Rising and Trinity, and it looked like they were trying to show ships, but leadership was like, that's boring, we want action. And it's like, it just gutted that entire trailer, probably, because there is a trailer that I think Ripper Teg mentioned it. That was... It was one of their trailers. Oh, I'm not going to bother you with scrolling and searching and stuff. I just don't have it on me right now, but I will at the time. And show an example of, what I think it was Ripper Teg who talked about it, about his his NDA expired. It was about 3 years ago. He talked about it, and I think he mentioned at the time about an example of how leadership just destroys, or just cuts apart what could have been a even cooler trailer with the French accents, the Russian accents, and the American accents, all like sign hot dropping on each other, right? And that was a cool trailer. I loved it, and the fact that it could have been even cooler was like, and it's like, and the leadership was like, of CCP was like, this is boring. We don't understand it, and you're like, it's like, it shows you, and this is my point. It shows you the lack of interest in showcasing, because new ships are just so important. Like after 20 years, you realize that new ships being introduced to the game are so important. Like new items to the game are so important. And the fact that their latest brainstorm, the Edencom ships, was like, are you kidding me? It was just an slap in the face, because it's like, can we find the blueprints anymore for that? Can we find in the game the ingredients for that anymore? I think it was just that 2-week event. I'm pretty sure. Like I've still got like 20 Stormbringers BPCs in my construction hangar that I haven't touched, and I've got tons of ingredients. But I'm sure a lot of people do, right? But it's like, it's like that was 2 years ago. So they're due for another ship, yay! But it's like you're penny parceling it out. It's like here's a little ship here, and it's like, what happened to Trinity? What happened to Red Moon Rising? And now that I've made it, I'm gonna remake that video. It's gonna be like, so fun. So because you can actually get your teeth around this freaking bullshit new thing they got for the Ark. I mean, Jesus, that's a mouthful, isn't it? It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, oh, they have these new brilliant ideas that just must cook up during their sweaty, yelling meetings where the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and it's like, wow, these guys have not matured as a gaming company at all since 2000. They just simply haven't. They've never matured. They had good apples in their bad apple barrel, but they never lasted long. It is kind of sad. But in order to critique them, we have to have our facts straight first. Like Mark Twain said, before you start screwing with the facts, get your facts straight first, and get the actual quote. Yeah, yay, Mark Twain. But yeah, on that happy note, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for listening. And yeah, I plan on updating once the war is over. Yeah, because it's like, why are you getting me interested in your high-sec pirate corp? I mean, I get bored. I forget about you guys, and then every once in a while they kick the hornet's nest, and it's like, it's like I mentioned about the trolls that were like, and we subscribe to your channel. It's like, yeah, it's probably because you're hoping that something unlisted gets public and you get the notification and you can watch something you're not supposed to see, and embarrass me because you've broken my vaunted opsec. I've never had good opsec. I try, but yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I had, like I probably mentioned before in this video, that yeah, these two had the links to the image URL pictures at the top. So I've realized, oh, that is maybe not the smartest thing. So I moved it to the bottom of the description, so you can't see it when I scroll down when I'm talking about stuff like this. So yeah, unfortunately, because I've published, bell notifications will get the link. So the plan B is to publish them as unlisted. I mean, it would be great if this worked and I could do it this way, I could do this, but now I'm forced to share it privately, which is great. It's an option. But in the future, when I do this stuff, I'm just going to have to do created as and then set as unlisted when I publish it, and then eventually when I do make it public and it's in a playlist for a war, the chronology is going to be all screwed up in the list. I apologize for that. I tried my best to fix that for user friendliness, but opsec comes first, unfortunately. The attempt at opsec. So yeah, these things will, this, what I should do is before I could, like maybe what I could do to help you guys out if you're interested in, the ease of it and just looking at the names instead of the descriptions, I could just before well, no, because it's not that I can't, it's impossible to release all this stuff at once. It's got to be piecemeal. Like they blow this up, Mark 10. I can make that public. They blow this one up. I can make it public. Well, I can make them public already because I'm sure the early bird gets the worm. They've already seen the video and didn't download it and probably saw the image URL right away when they were trolling through it. So I was like, oops. These people might be trolls and they might be moron bullies bashing easy low risk targets in HiSec for good reward. Which, like, why can you sell cores at full value? It's like, thanks CCP. Anyways, yeah, being an anti-pirate force in HiSec is impossible because there's so many stumbling blocks, and of course the loopholes for being the opposite is just overwhelming, right? So, lowest common denominator. Yeah. So the cockroaches of HiSec are like, meh. So they've probably already seen the links for the image URL. I'm glad that I thought that when I have, this, I thought other people could just, figure it out themselves. They've got their own channel of, I don't know, trollimageurl.com, and they can go, well, I can just substitute my name for his and they go all, and bam, I can see all the stuff. But this category is thankfully, like they claimed, is hidden. So yeah, when they do that, you just get a 404, which is great. So that's a relief for opsec, But yeah, trying to be an online creator, it's just rife with, just look at the streamers trying to hide their locations and they don't do it right. And you're just like, lol, I can see your D-scan. I could see the Stargates and pretty much figure out where you are. Noob streamers. There's never going to be a chance of me doing that. Can you imagine my wife would just be laughing her ass off with my green screen every time? Because if it's funny once, it's funny every time. But yeah, maybe what I should do... Maybe what I should do, I could do it. It would just mean I would have to wait a bit until the war is over before I start slowly making things public that, won't break OPSEC. Or private comms, voice comms, that's never a good idea to publish ever, because it's like you're giving those people an idea of what, well, even if it's good natured, them being able to say, hey, we heard your private comms is, not good for morale for anybody else who, gets told that, right? So that kind of stuff will always be unpublished. So unfortunately, you will, I think you've never been able to hear my voice comms with other people. I think you might have once or twice. By accident or design, but it's not going to be a common thing. So I do apologize for that. It would be interesting to hear that kind of stuff. I know, but it's just, listen to, if you want that, go listen to Bjorn B. He's fun to listen to. Um, you know, he lets it all hang out. So yeah, I might wait till the war's over. Uh, no, it's going to be impossible. I'd like to take a video of a short intro of the playlist. Going, here's what my playlist looks before I start publishing some of it, and here's some of the stuff that you might see but you can't. That would just be teasing people. That'd be like, you can't see that ever, and people would want to see it. Be like, hey, I wanna. There was no comms in that, so I'll probably make that public. Um, but yeah, this one definitely not. I mean, I'd love to post it. It's my first ever PvP FC experience. Oh, I totally made the silliest mistakes. But I'll never be able to make it public because, I mean, I could ask permission of everybody and let know beforehand. There was only a few people helping me out, and get their permission to make it public. But at the same time, it's like, why would you want to do that? So I'd like to. I'm sorry I can't. But I'm not going to ask you to respect my opsec. I'm telling you, you got to respect my opsec. I might screw it up with the links and stuff if somebody managed to figure it out before I made this private. There were 8 views, and those people could have seen the links as I scrolled my list down. Me talking about OPSEC as I break it while I'm talking. Yeah, too funny. But yeah, that's about it. Well, thanks for listening. I'd like to get back to the ship list. That'd be great. And I'd like to forget about these idiots and whatever. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna be playing Starsector and Jumpgate, and we look at what these idiots did. Jesus, it's a hoot. Yeah, the contracted hit. I know they're gonna use that excuse. Yeah, if I got an ISK for every time somebody claimed to be war decking you because they were contracted. Yeah, I've been playing since Backhand Social Club, Guiding Hand Social Club did that famous PC Gamer article about this intriguing secret op to because we were contracted to take out this guy, blah blah blah. But no, you weren't. It's fucking give me a break. You just walk through the loopholes CCP left and gank some noob Care Bear. If you didn't have a clue about the stuff you were experiencing, and just took advantage of somebody, you bullies. Yeah. So, yeah. Yep. Riot faced a little bit of resistance for us. Immediately, bat phone black flag. They do have a war against each other, but you see them chat friendly and local. If these idiots bring any bling to take us out, if we dare show up, I'm sure what's going to be happening is Black Flag shows up to do the heavy bashing, and Riot shows up in fast tackle to gank as if we stupidly show up and are my doctrine or any doctrine really to try to defend it. We won't be allying up with this guy against Black Flag. It's like that's a loot. I don't want to. That's a morale hit for sure because yeah, it's just going to be a raffle stomp. Then I don't know. Maybe they'll send 2 ships and we can deal. But it's like I can't gun it, and the guy who owns it is refusing to gun it. So it's like, all right, we're not going to bother allying up because it's like, defend your structure, and yeah, he's not going to. It's just people like this. To them, they want to be contributing to high-sec economy and be a center of industry in an ice field system and offer services and be popular, and because of what they're advertising is, I'm there with the Tatara, got it rigged up for ice stuff, come and use my facility and make me rich, and I'll be this big industrial guy, and that's not the reality. Aviv. And unfortunately, these casual players just, they stick their toe in Eve, and they after a while they leave, right? And it's a shame that the game caters to these idiots and goon, and not people who, not people who don't. It's like, just because you've got PvP in this game at all times and it's the potential of being ganked at all times, doesn't mean you can't make things interesting for people who want to role play anti-pirates, because there's nothing. So, yeah. 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 No freaking way. And plus, we've got structures. Why ally up against this guy when they can just take pot shots at our structures, right? Yeah. Just, here, have a free war on stuff. You can get cores to sell for 100%. It's like, what the hell, CCP? But anyways, whatever. I won't even try to practice against Riot. They've had their fun. They can just have more fun. I'm sure they'll smack talk the owner if he dares show up, or if we're passing through system. I'm sure they'll roam about the systems trying to hunt for us. But it's like, it's not entertaining, because if you manage to resist even a little bit against them, and it's happened time and time again, I've seen it, they just bat phone somebody bigger, and it's like, curb stomp you into the ground and try to break your spirit. So if you're into the game and you like the game, just don't let them get to you. Oh, you bat phoned. It's like my friend said, it's a compliment that they had the bat phone and bigger fish. It's like, yeah, it is. It totally is. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's kind of sad, but yeah, we'll take it as a compliment. Yeah, okay, you can handle us because of our little force. Okay. All right. Yeah, where is it? I'll show you. It's hilarious. Fish hacker. Yeah, they took out 4 of our frigates, and they're like, oh. And we probably pissed them off for a bit, because we were getting successful jams in. And we gave them a tiny bit of resistance, and they bat phone it. Yeah, it's just, it's typical. Don't think these people, don't ever buy the idea that these people are, you bring more DPS. No, you tank will bring more DPS, like the famous quote from the Hulkageddon people way back in the day, probably funded by Goon. And it's just like, this is their motto they'll go by. If they meet any resistance, they've got to crush you. They've got to raffle stomp you, because if they're not raffle stomping you, there's a chance of communism, or the domino effect. I think that's the way they're in their minds, they treat it. But in actuality, they're just cowards. Oh, they're 100% super confident in everything they do. And there's like, North America is so funny about bullies. They think that bullies have an insecurity problem, and they're always hyping about that. But Europe's done the research. Bullies are super confident. They're 100% confident. They're overconfident. They're 100% secure in the perfection of their selves. They don't have any chinks in their armor. Just look at Trump, for Christ's sake. I mean, endless bullshit lies, and he won. And it's like, he's not insecure. He's 100% totally secure in himself. It's like, you could say he's insecure as a person, 100%, and not understand everything and be a liar. But in his mind, he's top of the fucking world. Like he said, he didn't. It's what he said was, why are you telling me I'm bad? I'm the president. You're not. That's his idea of success. And as far as he's concerned, he's at the top of his game. And everybody else is like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. But it doesn't matter to bullies. They're winning. Look at this. They're winning. That's, why would they even? But it's funny, because it's like, they'll bat phone, and it's like, it's so funny how they need to divide and conquer so badly. But it's like, you're beating up It's like you're shooting fish in a barrel, and they splash water in your face, and you get a shotgun. You know, you're using a pistol, and you bring a shotgun, and then you bring a nuke because yeah, it's so never give up hope, like never surrender. It's because these guys, this is the way they do it, and at least in the meantime, when you're able to, you can practice doctrine. You can practice things, and the amount of times that Riot has actually had a related kill mail like this with actual properly fit. Well, I'd like to think properly fit. Um, uh, suicide gang. Suicide griffins. Duh. Um, the amount of time you actually can find that without it looking kitchen sink is vanishingly small. So I think this kind of thing surprises them because it doesn't happen often. And they're going, great content, guys. And then they immediately bat phone. So, oops, pissed off the wife. Yeah. Well, at least my voice is loud.